Hey guys, Matthew, and welcome to the first episode of my third edition of this league's Road to Headhunter series, if you will. So today I basically want to share with you guys what the idea is for this third edition series, how we're going to go about getting our Headhunter this time around. I also want to share with you guys essentially the restrictions that I'm putting upon myself, and of course I want to talk about what we did on the first day to get to where we're at. Okay, so on day one, I'm going to start with that. On day one, I went ahead and basically sold everything I had for my previous challenge and all that, right? Sold literally everything I had. The only thing I kept, a bit of a spoiler alert in there, the only thing I kept was my maps. I did not reset my atlas. I did not reset my character. So now you might be wondering, oh, come on, Matt, like that's cheating, right? Like keeping your maps, keeping this, keeping that. The thing is, restriction number one, which is going to be probably the biggest restriction of all of them, I'm not allowed to go in any map, right? So it's okay if my atlas is done. It's fine if I have hundreds of maps. I'm not allowed to use any of them. Okay, so this is going to be the first thing. So essentially, this is going to be a Hideout Warrior series where I'm going to work towards a Headhunter through multiple different methods. I'm going to make sure to use a new method every single day to keep it fresh. And I'm going to be making one update video every single day to update you guys on what I'm doing. So on the first day, I basically sold off everything, sold off my character, sold off literally everything, and I took 40 chaos or 45 chaos budget, and I made this specific character. The idea behind this character was to be able to kill like T16 monsters. That's really the only thing, right? There's no min-maxing, there's nothing like that. Most of these items are like a chaos or two each. Very, very cheap stuff. Now, you might be wondering, if you're not allowed to map, why do you have to be able to do T16s? And that was because that was going to be part of some of the strategy stuff that I was going to do, which was relating to prophecies. And I had to be able to kill some certain monsters, be able to finish certain prophecies. So that was basically why I needed this character to be a little bit stronger. Now, one thing, though, is when I do go into these maps to do these you know, specific prophecies or whatever, specific things that I have to do in a map, I actually don't pick up anything in the map itself. So for example, I did a map yesterday which was 60% delirious on this character. Somehow it was able to do it, and I killed some monsters, and I got, like, you know, chaos and 6 sockets and all that. I didn't pick up any of that. I even dropped a stack of stack decks. I didn't pick it up, right? Because I don't want any of the money to be made via mapping, but sometimes you just have to be able to go in a map. So that's going to be pretty much the restriction that was going to make this a Hideout Warrior challenge. So after I took this 40 chaos character, I had 0 currency in my stash. So I did, well, the same old. I went over to Query and I farmed that for probably about an hour. I made about 20 chaos and then another 20 chaos worth of alterations. I sold the alterations and then I had 40 chaos in my stash. I went ahead and I bought 400 silver coins. Now, I used those 400 silver coins and I basically just spammed prophecies. And I was looking for the chain prophecies. I'll talk about that in a minute. But after I had gone through all those 400 coins, I had about 300 chaos in my stash. And I went ahead and basically spent 200 out of those 300 chaos to buy 2,000 more silver coin. And for the rest of the day, I basically spammed silver coins. It was a pretty boring stream, but that's just kind of what you got to do when you've got no currency. After I had done spamming pretty much all those coins, as you can see, I have very little left, and selling almost pretty much every single of the big stuff off, except for the Kintsugis that I have left. I ended up with about 15x or so in currency, right? There's about 10x there, 2x there, and all that. So that's 12. Now we have a little bit more in here, a little bit more in there, a little bit more there, a little bit more there, and so on. So about 15-ish exalts, a little bit more than that actually, because some of the prophecies I'm going to be able to make even more money out of. If I had to estimate, I'd say it's around 18 exalts that I was able to make, and I think that was done in about 5 hours or so on stream of actual farming prophecies for currency. So it was somewhere around a 3x per hour, sort of, which is not like the craziest thing in the world, but I would say that it's pretty decent for something that requires a garbage character, just a few chaos, and also literally 0 investment, right? All I had to do was just buy a few hundred silver coins, and then with those few hundred silver coins, I was able to make plenty more to buy thousands of silver coins, and then with those, now I could do just the same thing over and over and just keep buying more silver coins, but it would get really old, and like I said, I want to keep it fresh. So let's talk about why silver coins and why they're so good this league. Essentially, you can buy silver coins in stacks of like 500 for about 1 to 10, and there's like thousands of them available. Now they did go up to about 1 to 9, 1 to 8 after I started streaming, but as you can see, it's very easy to get thousands of them for these prices, about 1 to 10, 1 to 9, if anything 1 to 8. It's still very, very cheap. Now, why is that? It's because this league, the 5 prophecies, right? The Unbreathing Queen 5 and the Unbearable Whispers 5 and Plaguemon, so on, and Feral Lord, right? They give you the the Pale Court keys, and the Pale Court keys are actually part of a challenge this league. You have to do the Pale Court, I believe. So they are extremely, extremely expensive. Now, some of these numbers actually look much worse than what they really are. I was selling pretty much any of the keys for about 60 chaos, and the Unbreathing Queen one, I was selling the Prophecy for 80 chaos, because the Unbreathing Queen one requires you to do lab, so that was kind of annoying. So I was selling these off for about 80 C, and all the other ones, I was actually doing the Prophecy and selling the keys for nearly 60 chaos each. And if I had to guesstimate, it's probably about 250 to 300 silver coins to do every single one of the chain prophecies from 1 to 5. So within 250 coins, which is about 25 chaos, maybe 300 coins, 30 chaos, you are going to get one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, and one of the other ones that I can't remember which one it is, which one I skipped. But typically from an investment about 25-30 chaos, you are going to basically get roughly 300 chaos out of that, which is like insane, right? Because you're investing nearly nothing and you're getting a crazy amount of back. That being said, the only issue, if you want to call it that, is of course that it's fairly time consuming, right, to actually do all those prophecy changes. Technically the first 4 are completely useless, right, and then the 5th one is going to be where you're going to make that big money. Now if you have currency, there's always the way to basically buy the 3rd or the 4th, right? For example, I could buy Plaguemon 4 for 13 chaos, go ahead and just do it, and then just spam prophecies for Plaguemon 5, and as you can see, I would triple my money through just the fact that I bought the 4th one and I did it. So there's a lot of money to be made with prophecies this league. So that's pretty much how the first day went. Now today we're going to be moving on to bigger and better things in order to increase our profit per hour, and of course again to keep it fresh. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this first episode of this series, of this road to Headhunter. Before I go though, as always, I want to say a massive thank you to my supporters: Flame Scorpion, Richard, Willie, Alex, Jordan, Emil, Raymond, Tim, Scott, Lost of the Map, Grimoire, Nathaniel, Kremis, Justin, Kevin, the other Justin, So Nice, Axel, Mercury, and Bizen, as well as a massive thank you to everybody listed here down below. Anybody who has supported me in the past or who wishes to remain anonymous. Hopefully you guys enjoy this series. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.